What is good? What is good? Freedom March, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Good afternoon to y'all. I just thought I'd hop on real quick, get ready to go play some basketball with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I was showing them how to dribble the ball and shoot and all that stuff, and they fell in love with it. So, yeah, we about to head on to the park, get our b-ball on. Not my favorite sport, not the best sport that I'm good at, but you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to touch on this real quick. I was on Champ Side's channel, and shout out to Champ Side, not too long ago, and we were discussing Bud versus Canelo. Now, I made mention that, and this is not a popular opinion, that Madrimov beat Bud Crawford. That's based on how fighting is scored. That's what I have it. And I mentioned that, and you know, Champ Side didn't really have any real questions about it. You know what I'm saying? He let me rock with it. And then some other, there was another panelist that got on, and he said, you know, basically in response to what I said, that Bud was dominating and all this, that, and the third. Quinn Cameron was good. You know, said Bud was dominated Madrimov and all that and this and that and the third. And he was talking about how he started shining in the 9th or 10th round. And I'm like, huh? And so, you know, a lot of other nonsense went on, accusing Bud of being a drug cheat. Some guy named Robert went on there, got blasted for accusing Bud for being a drug cheat, even though Bud never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. So why are we putting that jacket on anybody that was in the snack program when none of them ever popped dirty? That's another story. So, listen. Cameron says, I heard of some of it. Bud looked like sugar, honey, iced tea. He did. And this is real shit. And a lot of that had to do with Madrimov. Okay, Madrimov threw him off his game. Bud did not start doing anything until the 9th or 10th round, and maybe in the 9th round, maybe he got that one. But it wasn't really until 11th or 12th. I mean, listen, Bud lost, in my opinion, based on how you score boxing matches. But anyway, that's what I said. And so this no cap guy came on there and said, oh, Bud was this and that against Madrimov. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Because I caught him saying something about the 11th round. I was like, how did Bud win if he didn't start doing shit and if he didn't start styling on Madrimov until the 11th round? First of all, Madrimov was the champion at 154. He was a champion. Okay, so what do we always say? If you're gonna fight the champion, you got to beat the shit out the champion. That's not what Crawford did. Bottom line to it, even if Crawford won, I don't even think it was a close fight. But here we go. No Cap said, I went in, I asked him, I said, hey man, I asked him the first question. Hey, do you think Bud styled on Madrimov in that fight? He said, hell yeah. Exactly, Cameron. You have to knock him down, knock him out, completely outpoint him, make it obvious, outpoint them in every way. See, people think that you only score points by landing punches. That's not the only way. But that is irrelevant because Madrimov outlanded Crawford. Period. Outlanded him. Okay, but No Cap said, hell yeah, he dominated. Hell yeah, he styled on Madrimov. I said, when did he start doing that? He said, oh, you know, like the 9th round. And I'm like, how is it that I said, well, you said not on the 9th round. How does he style on him the entire fight, but he don't do nothing until the 9th round? And Champ Side kind of hopped in and said, get to the point. But listen, I was asking setup questions, okay? I know how to ask setup questions. I know how to walk people into shit. And so they wanted me to give my point. All right, what's your point? You know, this and that. I said, listen, I'm asking setup questions just like y'all do. Y'all got to let me do that too. But anyway, he asked how I believe he won. And I started explaining it. And because I did not have any stutters or I was able to actually get right to the point, when I was able to actually articulate why Madrimov won, everybody wanted to start hopping in and cutting me off and all this. And, oh, talking about, oh, Crawford was out jabbing him the whole fight. And I'm like, out jabbing him? What? Oh, he was jabbing him and this and that, and Madrimov, all he was doing is fainting and fainting and fainting. I'm like, what are you talking about? Madrimov was not only fainting, and Crawford's jabs were not landing. Crawford's jab were measuring. He was not landing the jab. He wasn't even touching Madrimov with that jab. What are you talking about? Exactly, Cameron. Well, exactly. What fight did they watch? That's what I want to know. But of course, they're gonna ride for Bud. Listen, I don't care if Bud black or not. A win is a win. A loss is a loss. I'm not about to, oh, he's black, so I'm gonna give him the win. No. You went up to 154. Your power did not translate to 154. It did not carry up to 154. Even when you landed on Madrimov in the late rounds, you did not hurt him. You did not drop him. You know what I'm saying? You might have wobbled him. You might have caught him off balance simply because he was moving around a lot. You know, my daughter's coming here. Hey, baby girl. Where's everybody at?
I don't know.
Okay, have a seat. Have a seat. Don't. They don't know where everybody's at. It takes 20 years to get everybody out this house.
No, yes.
When we have places to go, it takes 30 years. Just so you know, if you have 6 children and a wife,
yesterday.
It takes.
Yesterday reason.
Yesterday reason.
Yesterday reason.
Oh, and then when they get in here, they gotta fight over who sits in the middle. Just so y'all know, and when you have 6 children and you have a minivan,
Leave me alone.
they have to fight over who sits in the middle, and it takes like 30 years to get out the house.
Yes, we did.
It takes 30 years. But anyway, so
No.
I'm able to explain. Listen, no, what you looking at? I'm able. I appreciate that, Cameron. Yeah, those are my babies. I got 2 shotguns. I got 3 rifles, and I got 3 pistols. So you know, I'm well equipped. Right? I got an automatic shot. Let me not say that. I have 2 shotguns. All right, have a seat, guys.
Well, I don't know where we're sitting, so we have to wait for everyone.
Okay, well, go see what everybody's doing. So listen, I explained. Look, Madrimov was not just herking jerking. He was landing effective body shots. He was walking Crawford down with effective aggression. He had great ring generalship. He had Crawford on the back foot. You know, he landed hella straights. Did y'all see that? How many times was Crawford's head snapped back from them straights Madrimov was throwing? The counters, Madrimov countering was effective, right? Bud was missing those jabs, right? He was pawing the jab. They were both pawing jabs. You know what I'm saying? Shh. They were both pawing jabs. They were both doing that. But Madrimov was cashing him with them goddamn straights. You know what I'm saying? I watched it without the commentary. I watched it 2 or 3, 4 times. I watched it when BFTB did the breakdown. So I had many different ways to watch it. And BFTB's analysis of those rounds, I mean, what can you say against those, right? So I had all those things available to me when I made the determination. I watched it myself. I watched it on that night. I watched it without the commentary. I watched it with BFTB. You know what I'm saying? By the 10th round, Bud would have needed a knockout. I mean, that's the way you score boxing matches by round. That's how it works. And so, you know, I think it's interesting how when I was explaining how Madrimov was winning, it was interesting how everybody wanted to hop on and cut me off and wouldn't let me finish and all this other stuff, and you know, was making everybody ears bleed because everybody's trying to talk at the same time. And I'm like, yo, how come I can't explain? Y'all hop in and start cutting me off. Listen, in reality, Madrimov whipped the shit out of Terrence Crawford. That's just the bottom line to it. Terrence Crawford, eye was swollen. Oh, well, when I bring that up, they got mad. Well, y'all brought up how Madrimov's face had some red marks. He's a white man. He's a pale white dude. Yeah, his face was marked up. But when Bud eye was swollen in a mug. Why? Because of those straights. Those straight right hands Madrimov was throwing and landing at will, damn near, for multiple rounds. From round 1 all the way up to round 10, up to round 9 and 10. You know what I'm saying? Simply put, Madrimov won. He didn't win officially, but you know, it is what it is. You know, and just because I'm thinking that Bud lost, and the whole point of that was to explain, like, look, Bud was at 154. It was his debut. So you're meaning to tell me that everybody thinks that Bud is just gonna whoop the shit out of Canelo, and that the weight is not going to affect him, when he went from 147 to 154 and had problems with Madrimov, lost to Madrimov. He did not look the same at that weight. So we're expecting him to go up another 14 pounds. And we think his power is going to carry when he has not had any more fights at 154. When was that he fought Madrimov? Shaquila says yes, over and over. Facts. Exactly, they're in complete denial. And I'm not a Bud fan or not a Bud fan. I'm not a Canelo fan or not a Canelo fan. I'm more of a Bud fan than a Canelo fan. You understand what I'm talking about? But how many times? I mean, listen, Bud is just supposed to, he's not going to take any more fights at 154. He's not going to take any fights at 168. He's not going to be able to fight at a catch weight. He's going to have every disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? And those are going to affect Terrence Crawford in a negative way. Like, he's not going to have any advantages going into that fight. He should not even go all the way up to 168. I don't know what the weight limit is below 168 he can come in at, but it behooves him to be light on his feet as possible. Now, can Canelo get conked out, gassed out? And I love how people use the example of, they like to use the example of how Caleb Plant was able to outbox Canelo, turn Canelo, you know, outpoint Canelo, but all the way up until he couldn't. And you're not going to tell me with any convincing argument that Caleb Plant or that that Bud is going to be stronger than Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? That Caleb Plant's or Crawford's boxing is going to be way more effective than Caleb Plant's. When Caleb Plant, first of all, Caleb Plant is a 160. He campaigns at 168. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant was undefeated until he went up against Canelo, and he still got stopped. So these are things that they don't want to consider. I mean, but in reality, that's just what it is. They don't want to consider that. They want to say, oh well, but you know, Canelo got bad knees and all this. Well, what? Yeah, okay. Canelo don't need to box like that. Yeah, y'all, it's cold out there. Y'all ain't cold?
No. It's
man, it is freezing. And you talking about me? I'm freezing.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because the whole world.
so listen, I mean, yeah. So the whole point of that was, for me, was to explain that, look, Bud did not look good at 154. He looked like shit in reality. He did not look like he was going to just dominate. He didn't dominate Madrimov. If he didn't dominate Madrimov, he's damn sure not going to dominate Canelo. And I know, they're not the same fighter. They're not the same style. Well, Madrimov did not fight in the style of Madrimov. When I think about him fighting Canelo, like he tried to fight Errol Spence. If you know what I'm saying, how he's not going to be able to get hit by a hook. He's not going to be able to get hit with a hook and say, oh, that ain't shit, like he did get Errol Spence. If he gets hit with a hook by Canelo, he ain't going to say it ain't shit. I know y'all think Canelo snowed down. He's old. He got a lot of miles on him. He's 4 years younger. He's 4 years younger than Bud. You know, but I know everybody wants to talk about how Canelo slowed down. and all this, that, and the third, and how he looked bad against this fighter and that fighter. But his last few fights, it did not look like he slowed down. And Canelo is not going to be. Canelo's going to come primed and ready against Bud. He's not going to be drinking, I don't believe. He's not going to. He's going to be a lot more disciplined, I believe, against Bud than he was against, you know, maybe Bivol. You know, Shaquilla says Bud's gotten acclimated to finessing his way. The fans harping on that. Yeah, I mean, listen, believe in Bud. I believe him. I believe Bud has a great chance to win. He just has to. There are certain things that he has to consider, and there are certain things that he has to be ready for. He has to demonstrate. Dang, what is up all this traffic? He has to put up a better demonstration than he did against Madrimov. And Madrimov is the best gauge. I don't know why people are trying to use Errol Spence as a gauge. Why are we using the Errol Spence fight as a gauge? I don't know why we're using that. You know, I mean, do we have the basketball? See, what I tell y'all, it takes 20 years to get in the vehicle when you got 6 kids, and they still forget stuff. Well, you know, we're going to sign up at YMCA. I don't know if we're going to be able to use the basketball courts. We're turning around. My wife is afraid we're going to get shot because we're in the South, because we pulled in somebody's driveway. Anyway, Bud, I don't know why we're using the Errol Spence fight. I don't know why everybody's using that. You know, but I mean, that's what they want to do because they want to give Terrence Crawford the best chance. I get it. I want to give him the best chance, but in reality, I think that Canelo has never fought like Errol Spence fought in that fight, right? Errol Spence was clearly weight drained. You know, whatever you want to say about why Errol Spence lost, they're not. Canelo is not going to have those problems. Canelo he don't even have the IBF belt, so there is no factor of rehydration clauses and all this. There are a lot of things we have to consider. The ring size. The ring size is going to be a factor. That's going to make it easier for Canelo to cut Bud off if he decides to get on his bicycle. Yeah, I know. Bud has all these tools. He can use them. You know, he can turn and, you know, all that stuff. But we also have to look at Bud's temperament in the ring. What is Bud's temperament? Right? Because we know, and you know what? That might be a little different because when Madrimov was landing those shots, Crawford did not go after him like that until the later rounds. So I think that he can probably have a little bit more effectiveness in regards to how he responds to certain things. But we know that Bud, when he gets hit by something, he likes to retaliate. So is he going to do that against Canelo? And is that a good idea? Is Canelo going to count on that? You know? We want to talk about Canelo's flat-footedness. Well, Canelo does not have to be a ballerina. He has great upper body movement. He has great countering ability. All I'm saying is that it's not going to be a wash for Bud if he wins. It's not going to be a wash. Cameron says, as BF says, his fans thinks he can do some mystical magic unicorn. That's real shit. And he can't count on magic and mystics. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to fight smart. He's going to have a better gas tank than Caleb Plant. But guess what? Crawford is going to have to put on some pounds. Troll says free Palestine. I agree. Crawford is going to have to put on some weight, y'all. And will that weight slow him down? I don't want to hear about no wrestling. This is not a wrestling match. And if he tries to wrestle, I know there's the clinching, but Canelo has been known to pick up people and carry them across the ring. So listen, let's think about these things. Y'all want to talk about Canelo's knees and stop him from picking up motherfuckers and tossing them all over the ring. I'm just saying, I'm not a Canelo fanboy. And I, it's these fallacies that really kill me. If I give a Canelo a better shot at winning against Bud because of these factors, they want to dismiss the factors and just call me a fanboy. Have y'all ever seen me come on here to fanboy out for Canelo? You have not. I have never done that in my life. Counter, if they don't have any effective argument. What they call it, sign language. They like to call you names. Shame, insults, guilt, and it need to be right. That's what they do. They do sign language. and there's no cap guy is a classic. You know what? He did call me a casual. Yeah, that's another thing. Oh, you're a casual. Oh, yeah. I don't agree. Even though I can articulate, I can give you a comprehensive argument as to why Bud lost against Madrimov. But they can't do that. All they can say is, oh, he didn't throw no punches. So no one threw a punch. No one threw a punch for 9 rounds, according to Bud fanatics, against Madrimov. No one threw a single punch. No one threw a punch, but Bud just jabbed. If Bud, y'all know Bud, and everybody talking about he's a late starter. Since when was Bud a late starter? What? When was Bud when was Bud Tank Davis? When did that start happening? Right? When did that start happening? Because he was not a late starter against Errol Spence. Since they love to use Errol Spence, the Errol Spence fight. When was Bud ever a late starter? When did he start? When was he Tank Davis and Lomachenko? When did that start happening in Bud's career? Somebody tell me, because if Bud was dominating and the other guy didn't throw nary a punch, didn't walk Crawford down, wasn't aggressive, wasn't being defensively sound, right? Because those are other ways to win in a fight. Effective aggression, defense, effective punches, right? Clean and effective punches, right? Ring generalship. And you're telling me Bud won 9 rounds with a jab. He won, but y'all say he didn't start styling on Madrimov until the 9th round. So which one is it? But the same people, they'll say that Devin jabbing the shit out of Kambosos for 12 rounds, right? I mean, he did not just jab, but he had a very effective jab against Kambosos. But that's not how you do it, right? Oh, that's boring. But when they say Bud does it, yeah, he styled on him. Man, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Like, y'all, man. And that's why I'm glad I have my own platform, because I can say what I want. When they try to shut down the speech and shut down and cut me off and all this other stuff because they ain't got no argument, because they don't have a way to counter what I'm saying. So they gotta, every time I say something that's meaningful, every time I'm able to articulate, oh, the jab, all this and that. Like, dude, I was talking. But guess what? I got my own platform. I can say whatever the hell I want. And this is what I'm choosing to say. Madrimov whiz ass upped Bud's ass. Period. So I suggest y'all go rewatch that fight multiple times without the commentary on your own, and then go check out BFTB and see what he broke down the first 10 rounds. Watch it yourself first, and then go watch BFTB break it down. Because no one else has done that. No one else has done it. No one else wants to do it. But they want to sit up here and tell you that you're a casual. You're a casual because you score rounds like the judges are supposed to. And you know damn well Bud was missing with them jabs, or was not even trying to land with the jab. He wasn't landing those jabs. What are we talking about? He was getting his head snapped back by straight after straight after straight. Was getting body shots landed on him. Was not landing body shots. Was not landing his counter punches. Was getting to counter. He was getting walked down. You know what I'm saying? These things were happening. You know, that's just what it is. That's the reality of the situation. These are facts. These are not my opinions of reality. I went on there and said, in my opinion, because people get sensitive when you actually state facts that are based on, when you state things that are based on fact and they don't know what to do with it. Yeah, you might say opinion because, oh yeah, in my opinion, because, you know, people are sensitive. I don't know why. It's not like they were fighting and I said they lost. No, it's a fighter. It happens. Boxers lose fights. It's okay. They can lose and come back. See, Bud could have lost against Madrimov like he should have. It should have been counted a loss. Shaquilla says he was lost. You can see it in his face. Exactly. Bud was surprised when he won. So, Bud could have lost. And it's the problem. Is that people, they don't like O's. They don't like zeros. I mean, they don't like to lose at zero. Bud could have lost, rematched Madrimov, came back stronger and better, and handedly whooped on Madrimov, and he would have been a better fighter for it, because you're now at a higher weight class. Well, if you go on with the illusion that you beat Madrimov when you know you didn't, if you continue on that path and you go up to fight better competition at that weight, man, if he went up against Bakram, I don't even want to go there. You say you want to unify at 154. You want to get undisputed in a third weight class. Like, going on with the illusion that you beat Madrimov is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. No. Unless you say, you know what, I'm not going with that illusion. I'm going to rematch Madrimov and really whoop him. And then I'm going to go on ahead and unify. And I'm going to get undisputed. But now, he wants to fight Canelo. Without even truly testing him or passing the test at 154. He got tested at 154 and he failed. He got tested at 154, failed, and is now advancing to 168. And y'all talk about miles on Canelo. Can we just be real? Can we be real about all this shit without being a Canelo D-rider? You don't have to be a Canelo D-rider to understand reality. Y'all want to call, when Canelo has all this experience, y'all want to call it miles, like he's a porn star. Y'all want to call it miles. Oh, he had all these miles on him. Well, he's 34 years old. He's younger than Bud. Right? Is this it? Yeah. He's younger than Bud by 4 years. Right? Y'all tried to make, not y'all, but people tried to make Pacquiao look old against Mayweather. He was younger. Like, y'all, it's very convenient when y'all want to use age and experience. Y'all want to shape and shift experience to what y'all want it to be. Right? Oh, he got miles on him. It's not good experience. It's just miles. Okay. Y'all keep thinking that. Y'all think Bud is gonna go in there and watch Canelo when the opposite happens, don't come crying to nobody. I don't want to hear nothing about no drugs. I don't want to hear nothing about no clenbuterol. Because guess what? Bud knows Canelo is a drug cheat. Y'all know that. Y'all say that Ryan should not get a rematch against Devin because he's a drug cheat. But y'all will sit up here and tell Bud to go fight Canelo? Like what? Can we make sense? Cameron says, we'll watch the replay, hoping you and your beautiful family enjoy it. I appreciate you, Cameron. Bandelum says, many people have broken down the fight, not just BFTB, you tripping? Okay, what does that mean? Name the channels. Name the people. You need to take your advice and watch the fight. I did watch the fight, you numbskull. Didn't you hear me say that? Didn't I say that I watched the fight multiple times, then watched BFTVs? CompuBox. Who said anything about CompuBox? Man, y'all wild and tripping. I don't. Bandelli, whatever you call yourself. I don't need to watch other people's stuff. I determined that Bud lost before I watched BFTB's breakdown. All BFTB's breakdown did was enforce what I already knew. But again, it is what it is. Oh, they don't know what. Listen, they are. Listen. So those of y'all who want to say that Ryan Garcia should not get a rematch because he's a drug cheat, why are y'all even bigging up this fight against Canelo when you know he's a drug cheat? Make that make sense for me. By here and by says pure love. I appreciate you. Y'all have a great day. For sure. We out of here, y'all. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're going to keep marching forward to our freedom. Peace.